The son who was lost returns. Jesus has given the illustrations of the lost sheep and the lost drachma coin, while likely still in Perea, east of his Jordan River. The message that both teach is that we should rejoice when a sinner repents and returns to God. The Pharisees and the scribes have been critical of Jesus because he welcomes people of that sort. But do such critics learn something from Jesus' two illustrations? Do they grasp how our Father in heaven feels toward repentant sinners? Jesus now gives a touching illustration that emphasizes this same important lesson. The illustration involves a father who has two sons, the younger son being the principal character of this illustration. Both the Pharisees and the scribes, as well as others hearing what Jesus relates, should be able to learn from what is said about this younger son. However, not to be overlooked is what Jesus relates about the father and the older son, for the attitudes they display are instructive too. So think about all three of these men as Jesus tells the illustration. A man had two sons, Jesus begins. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me the share of the property that should come to me." So he divided his belongings between them. Note that this younger son is not seeking his inheritance because his father has died. The father is still alive. Yet the son wants his portion now so that he can be independent and do with it as he chooses. And what is that? A few days later, Jesus explains, the younger son gathered all his things together and traveled to a distant country, and there squandered his property by living a debauched life, rather than remaining in the security of his home. With a father who cared for his children and provided for them, this son goes off to another land. There he squanders all his inheritance in wanton indulgence, pursuing sensual pleasures. Then he comes into hard times, as Jesus goes on to relate. When he had spent everything, a severe famine occurred throughout that country, and he fell into need. He even went and attached himself to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to herd swine. And he longed to be filled with the carob pods that the swine were eating, but no one would give him anything. God's law categorized pigs as unclean, yet this son has to work as a herder of swine. He is racked with hunger, which reduces him to wanting to eat what normally is food only for animals, the pigs he is herding. In the son's calamity and despair, he came to his senses. What does he do? He says to himself, "How many of my father's hired men have more than enough bread, while I am dying here from hunger? I will get up